Well, hello, avid readers. Welcome back to a new year, new author interviews. And today we're stepping into the mind of a creator who doesn't just write books, she builds entire worlds. It's kind of like a cowboy with some lightheartedness. They're so fun to read. So Mary Connealy is here. She's a prolific novelist who knows how to grab the reader literally from the first sentence, which we're going to be talking about that. We'll be digging into her book, Ambush of the Heart. Mary, I cannot wait to talk more about this, but welcome.
Oh, thank you for having me on, Trish. Thank you very much. We'll have fun.
Yes, exactly. Okay, so this book, and well, all your books really, you just really, right from the first sentence, the first page, you capture the reader's attention, you draw them in. This book, Ambush of the Heart, starts with an ambush, a literal ambush.
That's where we got the title.
I was just exactly. I would just love for you to talk about, it's almost like your signature thing now, where like it's not going to build up and you're going to learn about the characters. You're starting with action right from the first page. So tell us a little bit about that and Ambush of the Heart.
Isn't that what you're supposed to do? I think that was what I was trained to do. I don't know. Explode the beginning. That's what that's what I always try to do. So we did it again here too. An ambush. I've got my U.S. Marshals, which I picked them because I had never done. I mean, I did them as some secondary characters once, but I'd really never done U.S. Marshals. And the more I looked into it, the more I knew I didn't know. So research them. They're transporting a prisoner, which one of the things they did, and they get attacked by somebody who's trying to break the prisoner free, and they get driven into the mountains, into the front range of the Rocky Mountains between Denver and Fort Collins, Colorado, on their way to Cheyenne. And they have to run for their lives into this unknown land, and they do not know where they are. And they're tough. You know, these are tough men. And they got a couple people riding along with them who are pretty good, pretty tough. And yet, can you imagine how lost you could get? That was like kind of my premise. Those mountains. Oh my gosh. Did you know when they first started doing the Oregon Trail, there was no trail? They had to like lower the horses and the wagons down. Yeah, they had to lower the horses and wagons down, get across some creek, and raise them back up with ropes. They'd have to, I mean, they didn't know how to get through the Rocky Mountains. It was terrible. So that's my premise. They are going there and they are so lost, and they got bad guys coming behind them and ruinous mountains in front of them, and they just have to run for their lives. And they would turn and fight, which is what they really wanted to do, except it's like 7-4, and they got these two people traveling with them, and now they got wounded people from that first ambush, and they feel like they just got to run. And anyway, lots of trouble, lots of excitement.
I love that. So I love because they always talk about when you hear about writing, like make things as difficult as it is possible for your characters. You definitely did that. First of all, these people, some of them, they don't really know each other. Then they're bringing in a prisoner. You have people chasing them. You have the elements of the mountain. But it's also a place where love can bloom. Love can bloom, even in these Rocky Mountains. And
my editor even said, you need to put a little more romance in this. And I'm like, well, they ended up together. No, leave it in a little more, Mary. So I had to go back and do that. And she was right. So, because they just kind of like, oh, well, there's a woman.
I love that.
I think I'll marry her. You know, that's kind of the way it was in the West. But that doesn't make a good book. So,
that's so true. And really, so like forced proximity is like a trope or things that people use, but I love the way you use forced proximity, because again, it's not like they're just like in the sweet little cabin and they have to be there. There's so much going on with the outlaws and pursuit, and you talked about this a little bit. So it sounds like first you were working on like the danger, the plot, and then you're like, oh, let's go back and add some romantic sparks. And that's the question I was going to ask. Like, which came first?
End up together, because that's what I do, romance, right? And then I'm like, but we need to build it in a little better than I'm doing here. So that worked in the end. But it took a little doing, because they're just busy really fighting for their lives. There's not a lot of time for romance in that, but
Yeah.
you got to find time. That's all.
Is they're like blocking each other. Oh, you have pretty eyes. No. Yeah.
It's
I
almost
love it.
like, yeah, they
Okay,
said
so
she said she was tough, and look at her, she's tough. And then he's like, I respect a tough woman, and that's it's not about pretty eyes, although he does notice that she has beautiful eyes.
exactly, exactly. So talk to us a little bit about Owen and Delaney.
Okay, Owen was in a book I wrote a couple series ago called Marshalling Her Hearts. And this is a feisty lady rancher who's the U.S. Marshals come in and say, we want to use your ranch as a setting up place for the outlaws that are roaming this area because we think they're close around here. And
Okay.
Owen is one of them, and Morgan and Tex, those are the three main marshals in this story. And I just loved them. And I just thought, what can I do now with them?
Yeah.
So this series is those guys each getting their own book. So anyway, that was sort of the kicking off point. Owen's in charge. He's the boss. And I keep saying in there, he's the boss of some really tough, competent people. So if he's going to give orders, they better be good ones because they're not going to do anything stupid that he says. So he is
Hmm.
tough and smart. And so are the guys that are with him. And then Delaney, she's trying to get from Denver to Cheyenne. They go to the train station and there's a bridge out. And they're just like,
Hmm.
no train. You don't know when they're getting the bridge done or a trestle or I don't know. And so Owen is trying to get on the same train with his prisoner. And so they're like, okay, well, it only takes about 3 days. We'll ride up on the horseback. And she's like, can we go with you? Her and her brother. Can we go with you? And they're like, sure, no problem. It should be no big deal. And then it is a big deal, and there's trouble. And now he's got these two people who he doesn't want them harmed. Keeping them safe is almost a bigger reason why they run for it than anything.
Hmm.
So Delaney and her brother, and at first I have her brother get shot and killed in this original ambush. And then later I brought her parents in as a point of view, and you know what? I just couldn't do it. I felt terrible for them that their son was dead. So I
You're
went back,
so funny.
brought Boone back to life, and then I have to go through the book. Where did I say he was dead? And now he's just terribly wounded. So I was glad I saved his life. I don't like killing people. I don't really like even
I
killing
don't
women.
like killing people either. I was going to mention that. And this is in chapter 1, probably, where I mean, right from the beginning, where he's critically wounded and she's there. But
Terribly
also,
wounded.
yeah,
But he's
it shows
alive.
you, but he's alive. But it shows you Delaney's like character. So she's not just like a damsel in distress. Like he's wounded. They're like, you can't go out there. And she's like, she's going to go take care of her brother, whether they want her to or not, and this is again right from the first page. We're not giving away any spoilers or anything, but just her spunk and her personality is it's not like, oh, help me type of person. She
No,
really,
no.
I think you have to be. This is the Old West. What was the year that you
I
set
think
this?
it's 73, 74, somewhere. The books take about 2 years to unfold, and I think maybe this is 73, the summer of 73. And I was going to have Boone dying be a huge motivator for Delaney. I mean, now she's mad. She doesn't want to run either. She wants to bring those guys down. And then I brought him back to life, and now. And besides that, I had to be a little too mad. And the editors also said, this killing fury she's writing with, that's a little, you need to just back off to that a little bit. So, but she's just like, no, we're not running for our lives. We're going to go get those guys and haul them up to Cheyenne to the fort too, because they're trying to break out this prisoner. So anyway, it's funny how a book unfolds.
It
You
is.
write
It
it one
is.
way and then you get a better idea, but then you got to go back and find. I had a book one time where I had 3 little brothers and sisters show up that the other brothers didn't know existed. And then it just got complicated, and I got rid of 2 of the brothers and sisters. So now there's just one brother, and you got to go through everywhere and say, where did I say we? We came,
Mhm.
us. You got to take every one of those out. There's just one of them now, and I still look at the book and I see it's a couple spots where you can tell I'm thinking there's 3 of them. And but I think if you didn't know there were supposed to be three of them, you wouldn't notice. So
Oh, I love it. Yeah, and that really is just how the stories unfold. Is it sounds like you're more of a seat of a pants writer
oh,
than
it's terrible. I'm so sick of the pants. It's just I should not. I've tried to outline books, and I've had to outline books for different publishers, different times, and I always tell them, here's the outline, the pitch for what I'm going to do, but it could change. Sometimes I try to contact Bethany House and say, my heroine's name used to be Charlotte. It's Annie now. Just big stuff, little stuff. They let's roll with it. But I'm just like, that might be in like the thing you're taking to the editorial board. I should probably get that straightened out. But by the time you write for a while, you realize, well, his name can't be Cavendish. It has to be something else because there really is a person that's named that. So we can't have that. So
yes.
anyway, yes, all that is seat of the pants stuff. And all I know, I have to do a pitch to Bethany, but it's like 1 page long. So
Mm.
I know they're going to get in trouble. I know they're going to fall in love. I know the bad guys are going to die. And I know they're going to have happily ever after at the end. That's it.
There you go.
Everything
So,
else you got to
and
read
readers,
it.
yeah, and readers love me, so just let me write the book, and it'll all work out. It'll all work out.
They're great about it. They seem to trust me, and I don't know if it's justified, but they keep letting me do it. So
I love it. So, what number of book is this? How many
I
books have you
believe,
written?
and a couple of them are out of print, but I believe it's my 81st book. So
Wow.
yeah, I've been at this a while, starting to be
Yeah.
one of the old people, which in every way, I am starting to be one of the old people. So
Oh, I love it. And now also, so you are from Nebraska, and so really a lot of this is that why you wanted to write the Western genre? Is just because you're
I,
on a ranch.
yeah, I wrote for 10 years before I got published. And at
Okay.
the end of that 10 years, I had 20 finished books on my computer. So, unlike
Wow.
most normal people who write a book and try to sell it, I just like, well, yeah, I'll try to sell it, but I just loved it. I just wanted to start a new book. So I
Hmm.
would, I would, I tried everything really in those times. I mostly was romance, but there was some detective fiction and there was contemporary and all this stuff. But I didn't hit until the Western. And I mean, maybe I just finally gotten good enough. But I also think I have a voice for that because my husband is a Nebraska cattleman, and I've lived on rural a farm, and we have we farm in the farmable acres, and we run cattle in the highlands. He's retired now, and maybe I just brought some authenticity to that voice
Yeah.
that made that hit, and then I just love it. I hear people say they want to try different things, and I just like I don't know what else to try. I'm having a really good time with this. So anyway,
And I love that because also there's so many elements. So you're like 1870s frontier life, but there's marshals. I mean, there's ranchers, there's marshals, there's veterinarians. I mean, there's
oh,
so many
I
different
know. I
people.
know, and then I have to Google, did the word veterinarian exist? I mean, what did they call
Yeah.
a needle and thread to sew up a wound back then? I guess the word sutures worked there, but they got to talk to laymen too. So then just all sorts of stuff. I remember one of my first books. Oh, the lady who's editing me for Bethany House said, this is set in 1866 or whatever it was, right after the Civil War, and she said the word Stetson didn't exist back then.
Oh,
You got it didn't exist. He invented it, very precise date. They know exactly what it is. So okay, you learn stuff like that you just didn't really know. And I found out because I was going to have a ride from Denver to Cheyenne. Oh, I didn't realize there was a train in the year I'm setting the book. So now I got to have like the train collapse. So you know, so yeah, and I mean Bethany's great about catching it, but I try to catch it too. I've learned
mhm.
the words. You just got to make sure the word existed, the invention existed. So anyway, I
And
have a
that,
lot
that,
of time.
that's leading to my next question about Delaney Bridger. You know, when you're crafting a character, is there any inspiration you find from other women on the frontier or people that you've researched? How do you, especially the female, because it seems like there's more where people we know who the ranchers were, we know, who the marshals were. That's more familiar. How do you go about crafting those female characters?
Well, there are a handful of what I would call feisty lady ranchers that existed back then, but the concept really was rare. So, of course,
Hmm.
I have to try to fight that because I want to make every single one of my heroines a feisty lady rancher. So you got
Yeah.
to mix it up a little bit. So Delaney is a feisty lady, but she's not a rancher. And I try once in a while
Mm.
deliberately to have the heroines not be quite so tough, but not be quite so confrontational. And because it's just reflex at this point. I need to stop that. The men can all be tough, short, men who don't talk much, but the women, you need to weave some variety in there. So once in a while I
Mm.
do that, and I have the man be a doctor once in a while, or a lawyer, or always frontier stuff. But anyway,
So are you feisty, Mary? Is that why you're like
I don't
drawn to
think so. I don't think I'm feisty at all, and I think that might be why I write them. Because, like, if I had any nerve, I would be like this woman here, and I would probably make everybody's life miserable if I was like. Because those people—they're a handful. A lot of those women are. So
Yeah.
no, I don't consider myself feisty. But if you want to think I'm feisty, go ahead.
Okay.
Leave that. Let's go with that.
I love it. Okay, so this is part of the Rocky Mountain Marshals book one. So now you're not just writing a standalone, but this whole new series. Can you give hints about the other books? Maybe some
Um,
characters you might be seeing.
uh, one of the things that happens in this book is they capture one of the outlaws that's chasing them, and it turns out to be a woman. And then she
There's
makes
her point of view. It's also her point of view in the story.
Yeah,
Uh,
Stella. She's got a point of view because anyway, she runs for it, and one of the marshals goes after her because one of the other bad guys is going a different direction, and she runs for it, and they go over a cliff. Their horses stop and they throw them on. Okay, so you think they were lost before. Now these two are getting swept down a river deeper into the mountains. No way out. There's no walls. The edges of the river are steep. So now they're separated, and that goes on all through this book is those two just trying to survive. No horse,
mm,
no nothing. The only thing they got, Texas knife survived inside his shirt. He happened to have it inside his shirt, and he has a flint in his pocket to start a fire. And that's it. And those two have to survive out there. And meanwhile, he thinks she's an outlaw, and she's like, I'm not an outlaw. My father made me. Anyway, so yeah. Anyway, so those two are separated then. So then the other guys have to get through it all, get these guys up to Cheyenne, and then the end of the first book is them going back to find Tex. Tex is the guy
okay.
who goes over, and their attitude is, we'll find him or we'll find his body, but
Mm,
we don't abandon him. So that's the end of this book. Well, there's other bigger stuff at the end, but that's kicks off the next book is them wading into those mountains in an even more remote, more missing place to try to
wow.
find the other marshal. And the other marshal's smart enough to mark his trail because he knows his friends will come for him. He also knows just
Mm,
how far away from them he is. So anyway, and then they're just hopelessly lost, and they're so badly lost that at one point the woman who's with him says, should we just build a cabin? Should we even try to get back to because it's just, wow, we have no idea where we are. So
yeah.
anyway, and
And
that
it's
this
not
is
like you can
all.
pull up navigation on a cell phone or
No, I
like any.
know you can't get your GPS out exactly, can you? And
No.
anyway, so that's book two is them
Okay.
out there and the guys coming to save them, and then book three, that's book two, and another couple falls in love in the course of that book. And then book three is Tex and this woman he was stranded in the desert. They get him out by the end of book two, but now they got to fall in love. But they've been alone
Oh,
together for a long time, despite the fact he thinks she might be a criminal and he's a lawman. He still kind of likes her. It's all kind of tricky. So that's book three. It's Morgan and Roz, and then it's Tex and Stella is book
oh.
three. So
So fun. I love it. And I love also too, in your book, the spiritual threads that you weave. And I want to make sure and talk about that because that's hard. I mean, we already have, so we have the outlaws, the danger, multiple points of view, close proximity, and then swept away. Like there's so many layers. Outlaws, in-laws, not in-laws, but you know what I mean? The good guys, the bad guys. And then you're like, oh, let's weave faith. Let's like, but it seems very natural. Like it's very natural from who the characters are. It's not like you're suddenly like posting a Bible verse. So talk
yeah,
about that. Does that come naturally as you write that the spiritual threads?
one thing I think I do, and maybe it's not even right to do, but a lot of times my characters are sort of Christian to begin with, and they're coping with things, and they pray when there's trouble and things like that. But I don't do a good job of saving characters, bringing them to the
Mm,
Lord. And books that do that, I love. They're powerful, and so maybe I'm making a mistake there. But no, mostly I just I felt like the theme of this book more than anything was family, and how
mm-hmm.
God has kind of helped us to figure out how to love family and how to create family in a way that suits God. So we got yeah, not a lot of Bible verses, although there's a few, but no
Yeah.
sermon.
Exactly. Right. And it's just like just part of their lives and even some of the outlaws. We won't I don't want to give too much away, but it's not just yeah,
Careful,
there's
every word you said could be ruining this book.
I know, I can't say too much, but there's good lots of good stuff in it basically. And I love how you wove the faith in multiple elements. We'll just put it that way. Just put it that
Yeah,
way.
yeah,
Okay.
and Delaney's family, he is the commander of the fort in Cheyenne. And that was kind of interesting because there were three different forts in Cheyenne and they moved them
Oh,
around a
okay.
little bit. And so you got to pick the right one for when you're there. So I hope I did. I don't know. Nobody's called me on it yet. So I hope that means I got it right. Because, the people that do this editing for me, they're very knowledgeable people. They're good at what they do. So they'll save me if I'm in, and they haven't. So I guess that means it's right. But they're tough. That is her father is the commander of this fort and his wife, and like they're late. They would not be late. Where is our daughter and her brother and our son? And so they go hunting for him too. And these two are tough. I mean, Delaney and Boone didn't learn to be tough by accident. Their parents raised him.
Yeah.
He has always been a frontier fort guy. And anyway, so they're coming too. So that's kind of the family element, like the way they trust their children to
Mhm.
survive if there's any way to survive, and the way they're coming. And she's there in the fort just saying, Mom and Pa will be coming. I know them too well. They will be coming. How are they going to find us out here? They'll track us. They'll do okay.
Yeah.
So, anyway, yeah, it's yeah, and that's just part of the family, and then them forming their own family, and how do they fit into the family that already existed, and they do that through faith a lot of times. So
Yeah. And even the family element with the outlaws, like we're gonna you know, we're gonna all stick together whether you like it or not. So I love that theme of family. Um, but it's also like our family's there as a protective thing, like
uh-huh.
Delaney, and then
Yeah,
or the trouble, like how am I in the middle of this? I think each of us probably have times in our lives where we have both.
what happened here? What am I
What
doing?
happened here?
And
Is this
then the
really their
outlaw
life?
that they're transporting, yes, his family's coming too. They're coming to save because they're saying was up to be hanged in Fort Russell, and he didn't do it. It was self-defense, but people lied on the stand who were mad about this guy he shot, and so he escaped, and now they've caught him again, and they're bringing him back, and then him, and then Stella is his sister, and she's like, look, we're not outlaws, okay? We got an uncle who's an outlaw, and you're pinning everything he has done onto us, and that is not true. And of course they don't believe her, because why would they?
Yeah.
so
And this
so
again, this is right at the beginning. We're not giving too much away. Don't worry. You're going to enjoy
no,
the whole story. This is right at the beginning. And some of it's only back cover copy, so we're not giving. And we'll have to mention, though, this cover
is
is
that
amazing.
Is that not the best cover ever?
It is
I like
amazing.
I've been looking at him, I think this is a disturbingly hot cowboy on the cover.
I wasn't gonna say it, Mary.
When
I
they
wasn't
sent
gonna
when they sent me the cover, because of course Bethany House does all this, and I'm like, oh yeah, with no changes, let's do it.
yeah,
So, and I've seen the cover for book two, and it's very nice. They're doing a wonderful job. So,
yeah, I wonder, did they get a guy? Is this a guy? Did they really
you
get
know, is it or is everything AI now? I don't
I don't
know.
know.
I don't know. I assume
He
they
needs
do
to
a
star in a
shoot.
movie, though. He needs to definitely be starring in some
Whoever he
movies.
is, good luck to him because he can take that and go a long way. I had somebody who took that cover and animated it, just somebody who was, I met somewhere who knows AI. So this guy's walking towards the screen. It's very simple, but oh, and she put some music behind. And I showed that to Bethany, like, can we make our covers do this in the bookstores? And we haven't got that far yet.
Who knows, though? Who
I
knows if
know.
that'll be
I
coming?
know. Maybe they'll just put some digital thing in our head so we can see it move even when it doesn't. So I don't know. But yes, I love that cover. That's a cover people might just grab off the shelf.
I think so. I absolutely, absolutely. Okay, so we have to talk about too. So, like, we're talking about the persistence of these characters and overcoming odds. Let's talk a little bit about a novelist. I mean, do you ever get to the point you're like, where am I in the story? Why am I doing this? I want to just go on vacation because that many books, you're nearing 100 pretty soon. That many books is it's dedication, it's persistence, it's a lot of hard work. Talk a little bit about that.
Well, I think one of the reasons that I just stick with it the way I have is because it took so long to get published. I was just so
Mm,
delighted, so honored when somebody finally published my book that I never look at it like, oh, this is a chore. What am I going to do now? I'm just honored and delighted that somebody wants to publish my book. These days, you write a book, you publish it. It's so different with Kindle and, digital books. But my gosh, I had to work hard to get those books published. So I never stop just being delighted that my books come out. I write 1,000 words a day, 7 days a week. That's
mm.
it. And that's forward progress in the book. If I got to go back and delete a bunch of stuff, I got to catch back up and still go forward. And I think that keeps me from. It's not like, oh, can I think of anything to write? It's like it's time to write, and then I start writing, and I don't know. I don't know. I'll let the readers be the judge if I keep thinking of something good to do because I just keep writing, whether I have
Yeah,
an
I
idea
love
or
it.
not.
And I think that really shows, and I feel the same way too. And I think I've written tons of genres, but it's like, oh, that's fun. Oh, that's
Oh,
cool. Or a bit of research. It's like, oh, it's like it's still fun to
yeah,
me. I mean,
yeah.
my first book was published in my first novel in 2003, and
How
it's
many
like,
have you
oh,
done?
over 100. I need to sit down, Mary. I need to sit down and actually count them.
I sat
But
down and counted, and the number's different every time I count. So this is what I'm going with now. So I don't know.
yeah, and then I have like
I have these novellas that some of them are out of print, and I'm never sure. I think I've got them all written. I count them, don't you think?
we just
Uh,
moved to a new house and I'm setting up a bookshelf and I'm actually going through and putting all the books. The problem is I'm missing some books. Like when my first box comes in, I always put one on the shelf. Well, then kids will take one. I'm like, I have 10 kids. They take them
oh,
and then
wow.
they give them to someone. And then I'm like, so I'm missing books. So I'm actually like Googling myself and looking on Amazon to see what books I'm missing from my
And when
shelf
you
with all
look
my
at it,
books. And
and
so,
when you see it, you're like, oh yeah, I did write that, and then you order it. Wow, 100 books, way to go! And you change
yeah.
genres some, yeah.
Oh, I jump
Oh,
all over. I write nonfiction, I write children's, I write memoir.
yeah.
But I think
I
part of it is
read,
that joy too of
yeah.
just like, "Ooh, this is fun. Oh, this is fun.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so interesting."
Oh,
Yeah.
good for you. I read widely, and I don't, but I don't write widely, and I don't think, I think when they say that you have a brand, I didn't really expect them to use like a red hot branding iron to brand me. I am
You have
really
a brand.
branded. I am branded. So I don't know. I have done some of the novellas I have done, and some of those 20 books that I have were non-genre. They were like contemporary detective fiction, and I published those, indie published those. Ran it all past Bethany and made sure they were okay with it, and
Mhm.
so they're just great. So I've got a few that aren't in the brand, but not the regular ones, not the ones I publish. So
Yeah.
anyway,
Well, and then you've won the Carroll Award twice.
yeah,
Finalist for the Rita Award, which is, for those who aren't familiar, it's the Romance Writers of America Award, and the
yeah.
Christie Award. So you're doing something right. I don't think you need to switch anything up or change it. You got your 1,000 words a day. You got your
Quit
heroes
Yeah,
who
I've quit
look like
entering
this.
those things too. I've quit
Yeah.
entering those things because number one, I don't win, and then I just feel
Mm.
bad. And number two, if I do win or even get a finalist, I think, that's a thing that is good for somebody's career, and I don't feel like I really need that
Mm.
anymore. And then I think, well, I just stole a spot from somebody who could really use it, use that recognition. So no matter win or lose, I feel bad. So what's the point? What is the point, really?
Wow.
Yeah. There's no victory in it. And then the worst case scenario, you do win, then you got to stand up in front of a bunch of people and talk. And I hate that. So that's
I
the
would
worst.
never have guessed that, Mary. You seem
Well,
so easy to talk
I
to.
think I've learned. I had to go up last year because I accepted an award for a lady who lives in Nebraska who couldn't go, and she won. The whole time I'm sitting there, now like, oh, please don't let her win. And I love her. I wanted her to win, and so then I ran up and I gave her a little speech, and that was fine. And but I'm just like, gosh, I should have entered. If I have to come up here anyway, it might as well be for myself. So anyway, no, I don't enter those anymore. I have dropped out of that. So
Yeah, that's good to know. That's
otherwise,
good.
I'm sure
Well,
I would have many, 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 many more,
there
right?
you
Let's go
exactly.
ahead and assume that, shall we?
Oh, that's so fun. You're so fun to talk to. You're so fun. Okay,
Too.
so we're
I'm
gonna
having a
wrap
good
this
time.
up. We're gonna wrap this up. Ambush
Okay.
of the Heart. And right from the beginning, literally, there is a there's bullets being fired from the first page. So
I
if you
think that
love
bullet
those,
being fired is at the first half of the first sentence. Yeah. Otherwise, they're just on a
yeah,
horse
okay, yeah.
ride. What's that about?
So let me just
Oh,
start this.
go for
Okay.
it. Yeah.
July 1872, near Fort Collins, Colorado, U.S. Marshal Owen Riley was riding beside Delaney Bridger and her brother, escorting them to Fort D. A. Russell in Wyoming, when a bullet whizzed past him so close he felt the heat of it. There you go.
Oh.
I love
It
it.
was that early. Yes. And then my marshals know exactly what to do in a gunfight, and everybody else is like, so they're grabbing the people off their horses and throwing them to the ground, and there's people wounded, and yeah, yeah,
Yep.
there's
Right
trouble.
from the
There's always
beginning.
trouble. If you don't have trouble, then you don't have a book. Do you
No.
really? No.
Yeah. I love it. Okay, so Mary, where can people go to find out more about Ambush of the Heart, to connect with you? Do you have a
I have
newsletter? Tell us all the things to connect with you.
Okay, I have a website, maryconnealy.com. You can sign up for a newsletter on my website, and the thing I will promise you is you probably won't ever get a newsletter from me. So it's not like you're committing to anything big, right? But I usually get one sent out every time a book comes out. So twice a year, 3 times a year, you're going to get a newsletter. And if you would go to Amazon and sign up to follow me, Amazon
Mm-hmm.
sends out a notice to anybody who's a follower, and that's nice. I'm signed up for a bunch of people I like, and I like getting those notices. And
Yeah.
then Baker Bookhouse, that's Bethany has her own bookhouse, and sometimes the prices on Baker Bookhouse, including shipping and everything, beat Amazon, so it's worth checking.
Yes.
So they have a great website there, and they
Especially
don't
in new
sell.
releases.
Yeah, and they don't just sell Baker because they sell books, all books, I think. So
Yes,
anyway, yeah. So
absolutely.
what else? I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. I'm not real good at social media.
You're too busy writing and
That's right.
being
Let's
present
blame
with people.
everything on how hard I work. Let's do it.
I love it. Well, Mary, it has been great having you here today.
I always love coming on. It's always fun to talk to you. So
Well, thank you. Until we meet again, somewhere in the wild.
somewhere. Bye bye.
Bye.